Get this man 100,000 subscribers right now. He's going for the Keppels too. Oh my god. He does not miss. Oh my god. This guy looks like he's 14. I bet he loves getting fucked in the ass. Like, those two sentences shouldn't be next to each other, Alec. Alec Gunter walked so Boblax could run, dude. My self-diagnosed bipolar manic episode actually caused me to accuse random people on the internet of being a file.
Hello there, my name's Card, and I like to make simple little videos here on YouTube about all sorts of things I'm interested in. Today, I just want to talk for a little bit about the nature of online call-out posts and videos, and why they typically don't amount to much at all. I'm going to start by using the streamer Vaush as an example. For one thing,
Vaush. I love this guy. He's just such an odd duck, and I love that. Like, this sweater fucks real hard. I like that. Look at all these vintage monitors right here. Beautiful. Got, you know, like, just, I love it. A couple of traffic cones and a hard hat next to a globe. Why not? Like, he's free in all the ways that I want to be free. Like, look at this guy. Live, laugh, loving in his little shed. I love this guy. I love this guy.
We all know that if I put his handle in the video's title, more people are going to be clickbaited into seeing it. But two, we also all know why he's a good example to start with anyway.
He built his own little cabin. I love this guy.
If you're watching this, realistically, you know who Vaush is. One of the biggest regular lefty content creators online, and also, crucially, one of the most scandal-prone. Not without reason either. Personally, I don't even keep up with day-to-day internet drama or the deep Vaush lore, but just off the top of my
I will not stand to have my autistic king slandered. Everybody be nice to Cardposting.
head, I know he's got a long and kind of dubious history of playing devil's advocate around age of consent laws. I believe he went over the line making unwanted sexual remarks towards some chick he was debating at least once. And most recently, the whole internet rightfully clowned on him for inadvertently showing off his pedophilic bestiality cartoon porno collection live on stream.
True, yeah,
The
true.
point is, as completely justified as any other person online would be to criticize Vaush for everything like that he's done, just making online criticism of someone doesn't bring about change and doesn't fix anything. I don't want to get too stuck up on litigating whether or not any specific criticizable online figure is good or bad here. What you need to take away from an example like this is that if you want to properly affect some change in, for example, who has a large voice and platform online, it's not enough to make all those solid critiques of someone solely to the echo chamber of your own audience. You need to give, A, that person's own supporters and subscribers and viewers and what have you, a reason to care enough to walk away from a content creator they previously engaged with, and B, you need to directly give that figure's peers and collaborators a reason to firmly disassociate themselves from the person you're critiquing. If you don't have those two things, you're just howling into the void. With a figure like Vaush, again, to return to such a convenient example, because of his large base of loyal subscribers, you would admittedly be fighting uphill here. But if I, for one, wanted to pressure him to drastically reform his actions or even just apologize for what he's said and done in the past, the go-to way for that would be to look into all the smaller lefty streamer channels in his orbit that basically do the same thing he does every day, but typically with a different aesthetic presentation or something.
This is an interesting point. I have to be real. I have to be real. That's quite an interesting point. I'm surprised I haven't thought about this before, you guys. I haven't thought about this before. A lot of the people that are, like, he doesn't really even have orbiters post-Fortress arc. Like, not really anymore. Like, he doesn't really talk to anyone except for his chat. But when I think about, like, Vaush orbiters, I think mostly of Demon Mama. That's mostly who I think of, and it's true. It is true. Demon Mama also is into that weird fuck shit. Oh, great point. He's just making me think, you know, wow. I'm ascending through consciousness, yes.
There's a bunch of Vaush clones floating around out there online who aren't just copying his basic format and style because they hope it'll work for them. They do it because he's got a whole proper network and a website system that hosts their content. They want to body...
This is... Oh my god, are we going for White Forest right now too? Oh, Card, what a treat.
...up to. And if you want Vaush to change, it wouldn't even really be enough to just get all those people to denounce him and move on with their day either. You would have to specifically boycott, for lack of a better term, all of those smaller Vaush orbiting creators and hope that they all saw enough of a drop in revenue and or viewership that they ask Vaush to meaningfully address the situation and make some real changes to how he acts in order to dissipate the criticism. You don't just denounce Vaush, you divest from him. And it's like any proper divestment movement in real life. If you can't meaningfully
Yeah, the only problem though is that requires the people that have been essentially like bamboozled into thinking a lot of this shit is normal. Like, that's half of the problem. And I said this right at the beginning, and I had the same criticism for Lily Orchard. I have the, like, any kind of community that is like very goon centric, you normalize a lot of shit that shouldn't be normal. Seeking out drawings of short stack goblins with fat tits to yoink it to is not fucking normal. Okay? That's not a normal thing to do. Looking up horse is not a normal thing to do. Being into animals, being into like that kind of, it's not normal, okay? Especially the fucking horse thing, okay? You guys can say whatever you want about like your drawn fantasy porn. That's I don't like that, but that's whatever. The bestiality shit, there were people in his community that thought it was normal to think horses were hot. Like, that is the problem, is that it's going to be hard to get people to quote unquote divest, because everybody in that community, over however long Vosh has been streaming, has been bombarded by subliminal messaging that horses are in fact hot. So, but I don't even know how you can actively say that people should divest from him, like, as a streamer, when the people that are still around and like hardcore Vosh fans are just as degenerate and into the disgusting shit that he is. I don't.
affect your target, materially or financially, you move on to seeing if you can impact the next level down in the food chain.
I'm sorry, you're right. I need to be clear. Vosh doesn't want to fuck a horse. Vosh wants to fuck as a horse. My bad. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
In the hopes that there will be some sort of knock-on effect. Let's say you care about palm forest logging, because you're worried about orangutans going extinct or whatever. You, and everyone else online who cares about orangutans, have absolutely zero sway over the corporate decisions of palm oil harvesting logger companies. So you try your best to bring a campaign together that aims to get people to stop buying and using products made with irresponsibly sourced palm oil, like Nestle chocolate, for example.
Nestle chocolate.
If or when that doesn't work, you go another rung lower on the corporate ladder and try to get people to stop financially supporting, say, contracted regional dairy suppliers and local distributors that Nestle's corporate office relies on for domestic production. And theoretically, if you do that well enough, the company in question will see enough financial incentive and pressure coming from its business partners that they'll change their actions to appease the
Okay, so I'm just kind of generally disagreeing with this criticism. I don't think that this is really the vibe, because it's like Vosh doesn't have orbiters anymore. If you would have brought up this, if the taxes folder accident, whatever the fuck, happened like 2 years ago, I would say, yeah, this would probably work. But Vosh doesn't like talk to anybody. He doesn't have orbiters anymore. He just doesn't. He doesn't interact with anyone. He just talks to his chat. The Fortress arc has made it impossible for people to quote unquote divest, because he doesn't even collaborate with any of these people anymore. I guess you could say, I guess you could say White Forest, I suppose. You could say White Forest. When White Nervosa did that interview with President Sunday, that was, wow, that sucked. that was a terrible showing for White Nervosa. I guess you could say the White Forest shit. And in the Progressive Victory thing as well, but I think Progressive Victory after this election cycle is done. So, I mean, I'm not really, like, super, like, oh, Progressive Victory, like, guess what? In a few months, Progressive Victory isn't going to exist anymore, and we're all done. But, like, White Forest is more like a cult of Vosh. In a way, yeah. But Vosh pays White Forest. Like, he funds a lot of that, the service. So I could, I don't agree with this, obviously, but I understand why they don't want to rock the boat if he's the one that's pouring money into it. I understand that. But, like, yeah, I mean, I guess White Forest. Okay. I guess the White Forest. Okay, I suppose.
Investment campaign. Or, let's say a signed recording artist goes on a wild, bigoted tirade on social media, and afterwards they refuse to apologize or recant their words. So, let's say you don't want them to have a big public platform to keep doing that. Ideally, you want their label to drop them. But just a half-hearted boycott of their work alone probably won't accomplish that. If you can organize that enough people boycott, say, every other artist with the same label, those other artists will likely pressure their corporate bosses to axe whoever's causing all that undue grief for them within the company. And that's 2 examples, you get the idea. Sometimes this sort of thing works, sometimes it doesn't. But at least hypothetically, all businesses and sole traders want and need to protect their financial interests. So significantly threatening that financial interest because someone they're linked to is bad will still always be a better plan than just merely complaining about someone online without backing those words up with anything. So that's all the basic theory out of the way. Now, I have to admit, I didn't just choose to invoke Vaush in the title of this video for completely hypothetical reasons, because I do have a novel, Vaush-adjacent problem I want to bring people's attention to. But it's not with the man himself, it's with someone in his orbit. A little bit of primer here. Vaush is the center of a network of online content creators who cover...
I feel like the divestment already happened when Ethan covered and called out Keffels and Tipster. Yeah. I think the problem is that over like the last 2 years, he's been like in his own little bubble. He's not collaborating with other people. So the people that are in his community, they don't care either way. Like, that's half the problem, because you're right. Like, Ethan Klein calling him out and doing like the lollipop thing, which was hilarious, by the way. The tangible impact on that was very minimal, because everybody that is in his little echo chamber or whatever, they didn't care. They were like, whatever, it's just drawn CP. Who cares? It's just horse fucking a child. Who cares? Guys, it's just So I don't know. I think that in general, the problem is that the people that are already there are people that don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. Maybe for like the outside kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Similar topics and support one another and who collaborate. I believe they might also get all their streaming websites made by the same group or be formally financially linked behind the scenes, but I'm not terminally online enough to know for sure. Point is, I've got a very big, important problem.
This is the one about Vaush. This isn't the Alec Gunter one.
With someone in that group that needs...
I've already watched the Alec Gunter ones on stream, which are fucking hilarious, by the way.
...to be brought to light. Alec Gunter is a self-described former conservative turned leftist variety streamer.
No! I wasn't ready!
Who became quasi-prominent here on YouTube after he got involved in Vaush's clique. Then Vaush promoted him a bit, highlighted a shouting match Gunter got into with Matt Walsh, and basically raised him up from a subscribership of practically nothing to over 10,000 overnight. Ever since, Gunter's considered himself something of an up-and-comer in the lefty political streamer space. And every so often he'd do what a lot of political streamers do on a slow news day. He'd find someone else's YouTube video and just do a reaction stream to it. And earlier this year, Gunter decided one day to do a stream reacting to one of my videos. Which, despite the fact that it's definitely pretty low-effort content, there's nothing inherently bad about doing that sort of thing. Believe me, I'm not just anti-streamer or anti-react content. But that did happen to lead to the problem we have today. See, in case you don't know anything about me or what I do here on YouTube, I'm a long-time progressive community organizer and activist. Although, of course, what political organizing you can do online is pretty limited, so that's not what I do here. But my background doing that for close to a decade now informs a lot of the stuff I like to upload to YouTube. For a while, just as something of a hobby, I've been basically making short, simple video essays where I talk to camera just like this. But I think for about a year now, every second video I've done has been about a short 3 to 5 minute piece, part of a series I call Dog Whistles 101, where I explain an obtuse reactionary meme, what it means, and how to spot the people who post it so they don't fly under your radar. Decent premise, I think, and it seems to be something no other progressive online is doing exactly. And one of those I did was on the topic of the Friend World meme, and explaining how wannabe neo-Nazis use baby talk to signal to one another. And Alec Gunter decided to do a live react of that video, and he uploads it afterwards as a video called Please Don't Be Weird About Dog Whistles. And I think he did a pretty poor job here. He essentially comes into the video saying he's never heard of this thing before, so he doesn't think it's real. He tries to paint me as neurotic for believing it's a thing, and he needlessly calls me an asshole a lot throughout, and essentially tries to woke skull dunk on me and say I'm bad optics for the online left.
My favorite thing about Alec Gunter, and there's nothing I love more than Alec Gunter content. Let me be real. I love it, okay? Is that if you want to be like a dick to people online, that's kind of okay. That's, you know, we're all here for LOL time. We all do a little roasting, a little tee-heeing, a little poke and prodding and what have you. But he like actually got ass mad when Cardposting like responded to him and called him a slackjaw, soy, new bugman or whatever the fuck, like whatever he called him, slackjaw, soy bugman. He got like actually ass mad about that. It's like, you can't make a video about this guy and roast the way that he looks, roast his shed, roast his voice, roast like everything about him. And then he claps back and you're like, what did you just say to me, you little bitch? It's like, if you want to go in at people, that's okay, but they're going to go in on you back. I don't think that he knew. I think that Cardposting hides his power level very well, because Cardposting got him good. I don't think that he expected that Cardposting could roast like that. You know what I mean?
Is it that bad? I've only ever seen people use it like funny. You know what I mean? Like a meme. Here, let's do a quick experiment. The whole reason I'm watching this is because I think it's silly. It is that bad? No, it's not. I just don't see it being used in a bad way from what I can tell. You would be hard pressed to convince me that that's how it originally started. You know what I mean? I don't know about that. I don't know. Like, okay, I could be wrong, but it seems very silly. Oh, I saw you say friends on Twitter the other day when talking about your stuffed animals. Hello, white nationalist, fellow white nationalist. How do you do? Like, what? It doesn't work. He comes off like a shrill, shrieking liberal. It's too liberal for me. It's too libby. Gross. I don't want to coalition build with this asshole because he's probably like, I don't know for sure, but based on this video,
I don't want a coalition build with this person that I've never met in life before, that I will probably never meet, that lives in an entirely different fucking country, that has an entirely different set of politics as somebody who's like a leftist. Okay, Alec, who asked? Have you guys ever seen that video of oh my god, it's like a meme Vine where like it's like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll rub your feet, and then the friend like all the way over there is like, yeah, I'll rub your feet too, and everybody's just kind of awkward about it. It's like that. It's like card posting doesn't want to hang out with you. Card posting doesn't want anything to do with you, and you have like this whole fucking fantasy in your head where you're rejecting him. Like, I would never coalition build with him. Literally, who asked? Are you experiencing auditory hallucinations? Because I don't think that card posting ever said, Alec Gunter, let's coalition build together. I don't think that ever fucking happened. Like, okay. I think he blocked me on Discord because I asked him, I was like, why the fuck did you dox card posting over like some stupid fucking argument calling you like a bug man? And he was like, this conversation doesn't feel good faith. I was like, okay.
You know, the impression I'm getting is that this guy cannot take a punch, metaphorically, okay? Like, he just can't.
Now, I'm actually not someone afraid of criticism or unwilling to stand by what I say. So the very next day, I make a video of my own responding to Gunter, wherein I explain essentially, in detail, why I'm right about the fact Friend World definitely was an alt-right thing. And if Alec had a modicum of sense, he could have used the computer in front of him to Google the word and educate himself. Among the first results would be this Wiktionary page explaining the word's meaning and how it's used as a dog whistle, numerous Reddit posts explaining the same thing from around the time the admins over there started cracking down on this sort of thing. I found this reporting from the ADL about a very popular alt-right Substack page called Pepe's Friend Zone, as well as entries on both Know Your Meme and Rational Wiki for what those are worth. And in that video, I even get to do a little bit of banter back, showing that I'm not some precious neurotic lib who can't roll with the punches. Alec, I appreciate that you think it's good to be able to take those metaphorical punches, so, real talk here, you shouldn't be commenting on how anyone else's video background looks or calling them fragile lefty stereotypes. Your setup looks like this. Between the hipster beard and the flannel shirt and the slack jaw and the glasses and the pink lighting and the gamer chair and the fact you call yourself a leftist variety streamer, if you were more familiar with reactionary online terminology, you might know this all forms an archetype that a lot of people call the soy new male bugman. Thankfully though, you're pretty ignorant about this kind of stuff, so you won't know it's meant to be derogatory. And there's a bit of back and forth after that. Let's say Gunter does another video.
That was the coldest roast ever. With the bisexual lighting, your slack jaw, and calling yourself a variety streamer. God, he goes so fucking hard. I love him.
Yeah, where he tries to reframe everything he said and act like he wasn't saying I was wrong about the topic we were discussing, and that he wasn't trying to take those little pot shots at me and my appearance.
Just a guy coming in from the outside, seeing that there was somebody upset about that word. And I clicked on it out of curiosity because I'm like, okay, what is this now nowadays? Yeah, see, that's my problem, is that you just get into this weird funk of always looking for dog whistles. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he did this. I'm not saying he encouraged people to do this, but that's the vibe that I got. I didn't see the videos that just said people take dog whistles too far. My point is that the word friends, F-R-E-N-S, did not seem like that much of a dog whistle to me. Another thing I'll also point out is that I think I did ignore part of what...
And to be fair, and this just is a testament to Alec Gunter's minimal intellect, okay, is like the point. A dog whistle is something that you wouldn't be able to identify. You know how like a dog whistle, humans cannot hear it. It's so you signal to other people. So you can say like, oh, well, it isn't used this way anymore. It was most certainly used that way back in the day. And then it kind of got absorbed into common parlance, or like the colloquial meaning of it like changed, right? In the same way where the Pepe memes were like dog whistles, but now everybody uses Pepe memes. They got like reabsorbed into like meme culture or whatever. Like, and that's all card posting was talking about. But Alec Gunter is just like so dumb. He doesn't even understand that in the context of a dog whistle, the whole point is that it's so like nobody else knows what you're doing. That's like the point. That's the point. I feel like card posting is what President Sunday thinks he is. I love card posting. Love him. Love him.
what he was trying to say, and that's that, like, they will use these things interpersonally with one another, right? That's how they kind of talk to each other, I guess. Which, if that's true, I can't really speak to that. I don't know of anybody who does that, but apparently I got some comments saying that confirmed that, yes, they do that, like, baby speak thing interpersonally, and so I was wrong about that part. I don't know. Like, the whole thing seems silly. And it still does. I still think that it seems silly. That little rant right there was my perspective as a former conservative. That's what I'm thinking going into this video as somebody who...
The friends posting, you would imagine, would be common knowledge for someone like Alec Gunter. I'll say this, like, because I don't know, I still to this day know very little about, like, Gamergate. I know very little about, like, a lot of, like, the online, like, right-leaning meme culture shit. I know very little about it, but I did know about Friend World. But here's the thing, is Alec Gunter is, 1, a former conservative, 2, liberal variety streamer, and then 3, does, like, a lot of content, like, politically attacking the alt-right, which is where a lot of this kind of dog whistle esoteric online bullshit originates. So if anyone should know about Friend World, it should be someone like Alec Gunter. If you want to insert yourself into the politisphere and talk about the alt-right pipeline and how you used to be a conservative and all this other shit, like, I would imagine that you would know that, at least, but...
who's never heard the word friends before, thinking, okay, why should I personally care about this word friends? He didn't make a good case. I'm sorry, dude. You just literally did not make a good case, and now you're coping about it. By the way, I didn't say anything against his looks. Nothing.
And, long story short, maybe a couple of weeks later, he puts out another whole new video, having completely abandoned the premise of wanting to debate whether or not Friend World is a thing, called Fake BreadTuber Exposed, Cardpostings Crimes. Now, clearly my earlier responses to Gunter hit his ego pretty bad.
True.
Because now he's just straight up making things up and trying to clutch wildly at anything which might make him look retrospectively like the aggrieved party. Now, I already made a long video, months back now, breaking down exactly why everything Gunter brings up here is wrong. And I also talk about a lot of the stuff he doesn't mention that he was doing behind the scenes at the time, like sending me a bunch of emails trying to plead with me to debate him and he threatening me, and I'll link that in the description of this video. In fact, I'll be linking all the videos I've mentioned or alluded to up to this point right at the top of the video's description, myself's and Gunter's, for the sake of complete transparency, in chronological release order, so you can see firsthand for yourself how we've unfortunately gotten to this point. But I'll run through the quick version of what Gunter did and claimed I've done and why that's bogus, all as briefly as I can here. Firstly, prior to making his video, he began sending a bunch of emails to me every day for a while, claiming he wanted to make up for the fact he came across like a meathead in his videos.
These emails were so embarrassing. There was nothing that I loved more when he fucking, when he released all of these emails. These are so funny. First of all, why are you emailing? Like, is it 1990? Why are you emailing him? Okay, first of all. Second of all, he sent, like, an insane amount of emails when he didn't respond. Like, if you send somebody, if you're like, hey, do you want to chat on stream or whatever, and they don't answer you, that you can just take that as a no and then be done. But instead, it was like, I have an idea. I'm going to send like 10 emails. He'll definitely say yes if I just keep sending more emails. It's like, and then to end your email chain with a threat of like, if you don't get back to me, I'm going to release everything I found on you. It's like, you understand that you're the one that looks absolutely fucking deranged in that interaction, right? Like, you're the one that looks fucking unhinged. Not card posting. Like, Alec Gunter looked insane from these emails.
And saying he wanted to do a live discussion. Then, when I was totally disinterested in that, he pivoted to debate me, bro, or I'll go live with what I found. Don't care, ignored, straight to spam folder. Then, as I've previously documented, Gunter presumably got his Discord or his Twitter fans to spam out my email for a while. Pretty low effort stuff so far, I know, but don't worry, we're just getting started. Come the day of his big exposed video, Gunter starts by showing his fans that I occasionally write for a newspaper here in Australia.
Now, John David Card is a published author. Can you believe that? He is a journalist as well as a published author. So this is his profile in Independent Australia, John Card. John David Card is a writer, historian, and anarchist activist.
Which is pretty weird of him to do. I've never linked to it or mentioned the fact I've written for it here on YouTube, so I figured he decided to go looking for anything with my name on it. Now, considering that it's a regional paper and I've done articles about location-specific issues, I think he was going for a veiled doxing threat here. It would make sense, since he doesn't even engage with anything I've written over there. He just makes a point to let people know where I work for the sake of letting them know. Next, Gunter pulls up a video of mine where I talk very proudly about gender fluidity and non-binary identities, and he accuses me of advocating that people claim to be trans to sneak into bathrooms.
Like that, he is willing.
Oh my god, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. This is like the dumbest fucking thing that Alec Gunter could have said. There's nothing that I hate more, like, in my heart of hearts, is like when you have like cis people who want to like white knight for trans people, but they're too stupid to do it. It's so frustrating because card posting is talking about how like he has like a different, like, kind of fluid, like a blah blah blah, like, gender identity, which is fine. I don't care, but like he said, the way that card posting explained it was like, or the way that I internalized it was like, he was saying, if I go to like a work meeting I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be like, I'm card posting. I don't care if people think that I'm a man or whatever. It like doesn't bother me. But in like LGBT spaces or whatever, he's like more inclined to be like having that conversation about his gender identity, right? Where it's like, it's not something where I am telling everybody and their mom about my gender identity. If I'm just like at work and people don't know, I don't have an issue with just being like gendered as male or like, you know, using like male spaces or whatever the fuck. That's literally what it was. And then Alec Gunter was like, oh, so you're just going to say that you're a trans man and go and rape women in the bathroom? Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Why would you ever say that? And it's like, that's literally like all card posting is describing as like code switching. Where like if you're in a group of like other trans people, you guys are, you know, you can be a little bit more in depth with talking about your gender and whatever the fuck. But if you just like are at Walmart and the greeter is like, have a good day, sir, or whatever, you're like, I'll take it. Instead of, you know, laying out my thesis on my gender identity or whatever, it's like, fuck. Ugh.
Willing and able to take on any identification he wants in the moment if it seems advantageous at that time. Is he allowed to do that? Sure, I guess. But why would you admit to that? Why would you go around saying to people, yeah, I pretend to be trans or non-binary when it suits my needs. And what he just said right there is that if he wants to go peek in a woman's restroom, all he has to do is say, I am transgender. I'm a trans femme. Why would you say that? Optics man.
Now,
Optics is when Alec Gunter does a schizophrenic expose stream on a queer person, accusing them of being because they wrote a book about like a kid. It was like a short story about a teenager getting picked up by like a hitchhiker. That's optics. Optics is when you accuse somebody that you're fighting with online who also happens to be queer. You don't like them. Optics, guys. Optics.
of course, I didn't say that. In fact, I never mentioned bathrooms at all in that video. And when Gunter says that people, such as me, claim to be trans to get into bathrooms, he's literally just rehashing a Fox News talking point here. And I'll also point out, he's saying all this the same week that a trans non-binary teenager was literally murdered in a bathroom because of that sort of rhetoric. So hey, he's keeping it classy. Then Gunter spends a frankly bizarre amount of time reading excerpts, to the best of his ability, from a draft of a novella I wrote he got from my website. He spends about half an hour trying to claim that the occasional spelling mistake in this rough draft story is what exactly? Supposed to be proof of something? Take a look.
Let's keep going. He waited for her to continue. Once he realized she wasn't going to talk, he tried to interest her in some food. No period, by the way, another grammar issue. She realized he wouldn't stop the... Oh, wait. No, wrong one. That's for later. She could have almost been there by now, admittedly, had it not been for the conniving driver who she had left the truck stop restroom just in time to see driving off. Conniving driver... No, actually, that's fine. I don't know why I pulled that one up. Because I'm a big John David Card fan, okay? Don't become the cringe? Fuck you. I'll be cringe all I want. I've earned this shit. You know how much shit that I've had to pour through for this?
Just as a reminder, as we're talking about typos here, Gunter's video was called Cardpostings Crimes. But then, this is where he pivots into another accusation related to the book. Because he tried...
The other thing, too, that was really weird, and I don't know if Alec Gunter is just, like, fucking stupid or what, but he said that there were people on 4chan that were saying that, like, card posting is, like, a molester in real life. And I'm like, you have to have something other than people on 4chan saying that. Like, we gotta have a little bit more, dude. If you're gonna go out of your way to call somebody, like, a molester, groomer, pedophile, rapist, like, we need more than, like, one anonymous post on 4chan saying, this person is weird in real life. Like, the crimes of card posting? Really? The crimes of card... Like, evidence. Can we have some evidence? The other thing, too, is Alec Gunter refuses to talk about the goon folder. He refuses to talk about Vosh's goon folder. Which one here is engaged in more sussy-wussy behavior? Alec, the one that reads a short story about a teenager and immediately thinks it's sexual. That's weird. That's a weird perspective to come in that at. And then, you know, you are tight with an organization that hosts this guy who's into drawn CP and horses, and you won't say anything about it publicly. Alec Gunter is a fucking lolcow, dude. That's why he won't indulge in any of the commentary around Vosh or Progressive Victory. All he does is make his videos where he yells at people. That's all he does. Yeah.
Trying to make out here that this story has pedophilic, sexually charged undertones because one of the characters in it is a teenage girl. Something which he continued to claim even as he tried to take his accusations of me to random debate lord streamers he got into a spiraling calling conversations with.
The one part that I pulled was because it was supposed to be whom, not who. And then the next part that I pulled, that didn't seem to quite make sense, was because he was using present tense rather than...
Oh my god, I remember this conversation. What's this guy's name? Oh God, I'm gonna have to find this later. But yes, so this guy that he's talking to right now. So this is so funny. Alec Gunter did like his card posting nuke stream or whatever the fuck, and then so he had anonymous sources from 4chan that came forward with the allegations that card posting is a rape molester in real life or whatever. And then when he was doing his expose or whatever on stream, he accidentally showed personal details of the anonymous sources or whatever. So he deleted the VOD. This guy recorded it and saved the entire VOD so he could be like, you can't weasel out of this. Like, you did show, like, the personal information. Like, you didn't protect your sources, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. And he invites Alec Gunter on it. It's so fucking embarrassing. It's so fucking embarrassing.
Past tense. He switched tenses, and I forgot to mention that part. I was too eager to get to, like, you know...
Fair. The big bits, the weird bits in the book.
Right.
What were you trying to say with the snippets from the book? Because I don't think you were explicit.
It's just weird. I feel like
weird in what way?
It's weird optically. Like, he keeps harping on and on about how mature this 12-year-old is as she points a gun at adults who keep bringing up the CPS. And, oh my God, the CPS is going to get me in trouble if this 12-year-old girl... And they're like, I don't know, it just seemed charged. It's
like
very charged.
Charged how?
I don't know how else to explain it. It seemed sexually charged.
Sexually charged.
The
And that's
language he
battle
was using, yes, it seemed charged.
That's completely bunk. There's absolutely nothing like that in the story. And in fact,
Harmful opinions. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will. That's a funny fucking conversation.
there is unambiguously zero sexual content or anything even approaching it whatsoever in that story. I stand by that assertion 100%. And in fact, within a few hours of this video you're currently watching being uploaded and made public, I plan on also uploading a reading of that entire story to YouTube too, if you really want to investigate Gunter's claim for yourself. Then, Gunter next goes on to claim, without any evidence, and again falsely, that I browse Kiwi Farms, the reactionary drama/doxing forum. That's not true at all. I don't browse it, don't post there, and Gunter saying that I do is a lie. Simple as that. I think Kiwi Farms is bad, and I also won't miss an opportunity to point out that as Alec Gunter is telling this lie about me, karma bites him squarely in the ass, and we get this glorious Freudian slip on his livestream.
Not a super progressive place. I literally got linked to a Kiwi Farms thing as a result of, like, all of this stuff going on, so I logged in. Not logged in, I don't have an account or nothing, but I opened the page for the first time today.
But Alec Gunter ends his video about me by making up one really big, final claim. He spins a fairy tale, entirely transparently bogus, that he was supposedly contacted by an unnamed anonymous source right as he started getting his feelings hurt in this online exchange, who, just out of the blue, told him that me, the person he's got a problem with, is actually not a progressive, but I do YouTube because I secretly want to start a transgender sex cult. That's his...
I think that Alec Gunter was in a Manic episode during this period in his life because this is insane. He wants to start a transgender sex cult. A transgender sex cult.
Final claim in this video, that I want to groom people into a trans sex cult, which he makes sure to end his stream emphasizing and telling his audience that I should be pogromed off the internet, driven offline entirely, while still being visibly mad about the fact...
Yeah, you guys, I'm the one that started a transgender sex cult. This is ridiculous. It was my idea first.
He got some banter back in our first exchange. And take a look.
So what does this all boil down to, folks? Well, I have a theory, and I think it's a very good one. I think that John David Card is a groomer. I think that he is attempting to start his own cult of supporters, largely trans supporters, right? I think that he wants to build up an audience of trans people that he can then manipulate, take advantage of, and perhaps even in a sexual way. And so that's why I feel...
Like, what is the premise for all of this? Like, this is fucking insane, dude. That is so dumb. It's so dumb. Hey, this guy talks about, like, trans stuff sometimes. I think that he wants a trans harem. My God, please kill me.
It's not personal. It is a little personal. But the main point of this is not personal. I do not want shitheads like this infiltrating our good leftist space. No. Cast you out into the cold, my friend. None of that here.
Okay, you know what I don't want in our leftist space? I don't want somebody who jerks off to, like, horse. That's somebody I don't want in my leftist space. I don't want degenerate gooners in my leftist space, in my good, pure, ideologically pure leftist space where we all agree with each other and we all support Chairman Mao and the revolution, okay? And we all have the same Mao haircut. I should grow out my hair on the sides a little. I should be Mao for Halloween, you guys. Ooh, that's an idea. I'm writing that one down. Anyway, as I was saying, I apologize. That's who I don't want in my ideologically pure leftist space, is degenerate gooners who think that horses are hot. I don't want that. So, checkmate, liberal.
Here. You're a piece of shit. I hate you. And you shouldn't have called me a fucking slackjaw, dumbass.
Oh, he's so mad. And then look at this fit. Look at this fit. No hose, no riz, no hose, no riz. Like, if you're gonna wear a patterned shirt like that, you should not be wearing a graphic t-shirt under it. It's too distracting. I can't, there's too much going on. It's too cluttered, okay? And then also, this little medallion, I don't understand that. It clashes with everything, unless you're wearing just like a plain black t-shirt. No hose. No hose!
And that's that.
You call one guy Slackjaw and suddenly you're starting a cult.
Hopefully, suffice to say, I do not in fact want to start any trans sex cults. Furthermore, no random anonymous people you find in the comments section of an Alec Gunter video is anyone who knows me, because I keep my real-world organising private, because it doesn't need to be public. And as an aside, political organising and making videos online are two entirely separate things, and anyone making content out of the organising they supposedly do is actually just someone angling for an online media career. But back to the topic, Alec Gunter made up a story to support his claim I want to groom people. He lied very brazenly and claimed he had a bunch of super damning evidence dumped into his lap supporting that story. He just can't actually let you see it, but trust him guys, he totally has it. This random Australian hobbyist video maker he's never met, filming on their phone to maybe a few hundred people a video, is actually super bad, and Gunter's not just saying that because he got his ego very badly bruised. That's his claim of me, the fantasy he's come up with. Now, my counterclaim of him, so to speak, the problem I've got with him that I want to get to today, is just what you see in his videos and how Alec Gunter acts towards people. He does things that, frankly, should not be encouraged or even welcomed in progressive spaces. Beyond the juvenile stuff like all the pleading emails he kept sending me, or the fact he tried to get his fans to send me a bunch of spam messages, or even how he tried to do a real low-rent doxing by showing people where I live through what paper I write for. I mean, like the simple fact, Alec Gunter started, then lost, YouTube beef with a progressive creator just a fraction of his size, then he made up a fake rape cult story to save face. And all around, just a pretty terrible person.
Mr. Mollusk, where are you? Mr. Mollusk, I think about this like 25 times a day. This is imprinted into my brain. I will never forget you, Mr. Mollusk. I'm losing this argument. Go gadget rape discourse. It's like you were so right. You're a prophet, Mr. Mollusk. Oh no, I'm losing this debate. Go gadget rape discourse. I think about that all the time. All the time.
As you see once you start to keep track of what he's done. He tried to attack me by calling my gender identity fake and rolling out the conservative classic bathroom libel. Again, the same week the big headline news was that a non-binary person had just been murdered over this shit. Did he not say that non-binary people, or at the very least I, are faking it to peek into public restrooms? That's just transphobia. And by the way, just in case you think he was merely just trying to articulate...
Also, I am a firm believer, and I truly believe this, okay? I truly believe this, and you guys will have to do a lot to convince me out of this, okay? I believe with my whole heart that Alec Gunter is actually transphobic. We watched the video where he was going over that trans guy doing a video about like trans medicalism, and he kept calling this trans guy a girl. He kept saying like she, her, like, and he is very, 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 very eager to shit all over trans people that he does not like personally. I think that he is transphobic. I will say it out loud. I think that Alec Gunter is transphobic. I'll say it.
An argument still pro-trans identities, just anti-too cute and more binary and medicalist, but he's just clumsy about it. Well, no, in fact. Here's him attacking another trans person who takes a very medicalist, binary, true scum line on trans issues. Take a look.
Is he going to show
you
it?
Gotta be kidding me. I speak from...
Oh, I want to watch this video so bad. This is on my list. Okay, so anybody? Oh my god, you guys, this is such a treat. Oh my god. Okay, so this is Marcus Dibbs. His YouTube handle is offensive Teesler, but it's the actual word. I can't say it, obviously, but it's that's his YouTube handle, and all this guy does is bitch and cry and moan. Like, it's so sad and pathetic, but like European, I think he's from like Denmark, a Denmark Trump supporter. Total fucking loser, okay? But I heard that Alec Gunter reacting to this is horrible to watch.
Personally,
Don't be a cuck. Don't be a cuck. Shut up.
Because
As a cuck. No, you're not a man. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to put yourself in the same category as me. Get out.
Do you see what I'm saying? What the fuck, dude? Why would you ever fucking say that? Why would you ever say that?
cannot change
I
the
cast
truth.
you out. All right. I don't accept men who are cucks. If you're like a literal cuck and that's your fetish, that's fine. I'm not getting on.
Looks to me like Gunter's just a bellowing cis guy who likes to talk over actual trans people, and will
True. Yes, card posting slay. Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth.
making woke skull dunking content. Nay.
Yes, he's a Danish Trump supporter. I think he lives in like Denmark. He lives in a Scandinavian country. I don't know which one it is. He's in a Scandinavian country, and he's a Trump supporter. And he wears New Balance sneakers as well. And it like the dad New Balance sneakers, you know, like the ones where you have the mowing the grass pair, and then you have like the nice pair for like when you go out to dinner at Applebee's with the fam. You know exactly what New Balance sneakers I'm talking about. He wears those, and he's like 20. It's, oh god, oh, it just, the whole thing hurts, okay?
Reminder, his whole shtick is being a former Trump supporter who got all libbed up and became a Democrat fanboy instead. And he's got a stick in the mud like those wokies who think voting blue isn't enough. Why do we need to hear what he thinks about anything, let alone trans issues? Oh hey, remember the part where he called me a pedophile because the book I wrote had a teen girl in it? And he wants to make sure I'm nowhere near the online left because I have bad optics? Well, hilariously, he actually recorded that stream the morning of the same day Vouch later leaked the fact he had a bunch of, you know, bestiality lolicon. The cartoon child porn of little girls being sodomized by horses. That stuff, which he had on his computer, because he consumes that sort of content, because he likes it, because he's a pedophile. Anyway, it's just
Cardposting! Oh my god, he's just going for it. Okay, let him cook. Let him cook.
really interesting that Alec Gunter thinks it's really important we do our utmost to point that out, and remove all the pedophiles from the online left. And we know for a fact that Alec Gunter heard about the fact Vouch got exposed for leaking all his cartoon bestiality child porn, because he was actually
Oh my god, go off!
advising Vouch that actually this mistake could be parlayed into an opportunity for him to get exposed to new viewers by accepting Ethan Klein's invitation to talk about what happened.
You think you can call in and talk it over with them? Maybe this is your ticket in? Nah.
Then guess what? Vouch had a bunch of cartoon bestiality child porn on his computer. In the interests of pointing out and ousting the pedophiles from the online left, Gunter actually didn't just ignore what Vouch did, he explicitly banned mention of it in his community. As another aside, I don't think any YouTuber should run a Discord for their fans like that. It's a space controlled solely by a figure everyone there will look up to. There's zero means to properly verify that people coming in are actually of age. It's not visible to outsiders at all, so there's no oversight or accountability. I just denounce the idea of YouTubers having Discords like that, period. I just don't like them. It doesn't sit right with me. And more specifically, looking again at this screenshot of Alec Gunter telling everyone to ignore the fact that Vouch likes cartoon bestiality child porn, is he shirtless in his pic there? That means either topless pics are normal fodder in the Gunter Discord community,
I love card posting. I love card. Is he shirtless in that picture? Not the kind of leftist culture I want to be involved in. Like, fucking. He's got his tits out, you guys. He's got his tits out.
and everyone does that, which isn't a crime, of course, but it's definitely also something that doesn't sit right with me. Or, the topless pics like that aren't normal in the Gunter Discord community.
I love that he calls them topless pics. I love this man.
And he's the only one who does that. In which case, I'd say maybe his accusation I want to head an online trans sex cult was more just projection than anything else.
Drew! He has tit pics in his Discord. I think Alec Gunter wants the trans sex cult. Oh my god.
And anyway, isn't it really weird
Anyway.
how he's going to lie and call someone he doesn't like a pedophile, then all of a sudden, someone he does like, someone who he can continue to suck up to, someone he's got an incentive to stay on the good side of, is exposed as being a pedophile? I think the double standards is bad myself. But speaking of double standards and trans Discord cults, y'all remember Keffels? Again, hilariously, the thing Alec Gunter made up to accuse me of happens to some...
Get this man 100,000 subscribers right now. He's going for the Keffels too. Oh my god. He does not miss. Oh my god.
he likes. And he's shockingly silent about things. See, right after this exchange between me and Gunter, where he accuses me of wanting to groom people into an online trans cult, the Keffels thing comes back into focus and becomes the drama flavor of the month. Now, personally, I'm already on record as saying I don't really think any amount of online criticism is even going to affect her, and I stand by that. But let's be clear here, what Keffels did is definitely still really bad. I'm obviously not anti-HRT, but having a private Discord filled with people you can't verify the ages of...
And he's gonna have the best take on this? Oh my god, this is the take, you guys. Oh, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. Make this man famous. Literally... take Alec Gunter's YouTube channel and just give it to card posting. He's killed him. He's dead. He's conquered Alec Gunter. He deserves it. He deserves it. Give it to him. Oh, he's gonna cook. He's gonna cook.
Distribute hormones of dubious origin and purity, and then essentially play confidence trick.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this.
Brand you lie about your need for, then squander, and in doing so tarnish the standing of every reputable HRT distributor and every trans person looking for...
This is what I said. This is my take. Yes, yes, card posting.
That's a bad thing to do, and Keffels did it. And guess what? Not a peep of condemnation out of Gunter.
Yes, Drew! Yes!
Is very selective, and only seems
oh,
to
he's
come out
so
in
right.
much
He's
smaller
cooking.
channels he doesn't like.
Oh my god, he's cooking.
And every once in a while, I still get stuff floated into my recommended tab where Gunter will have done something like incorrectly assume another content creator has a smaller subscribership than him, then he'll muse about how he thinks the smaller creator looks 14 or something before going off on a mumbling monologue about how...
No, not the lyrics! Dude, he put everything in here. This is art. This is art. He got everything in here. He put the lyric shit in here too. Oh my god.
Person he thinks is some random minor looks like he'd be really into gay sex and having Alec dress him up as a woman.
He's smaller than I am even, and that's saying something. How old is honestly, I'm a little scared. How old is this guy? He looks underage. There's his Twitter. He looks like he's like 14. I'm honestly scared to insult him any further. But he's in an adult space, so I'm gonna treat him like an adult. Like, what are you like? You dudes in private when nobody and you don't tell anybody about it. Okay, that hair.
This guy looks like he's 14. I bet he loves getting fucked in the ass. Like, those two sentences shouldn't be next to each other, Alec. If anybody here is the optical pedophile, I think that this is a little bit more optically pedophile. Like saying, you look like you're like 12. I bet you would look cute in a dress. I don't know, Alec. I don't know, dude.
Hairstyle already says everything I need to know, my dude. Okay, you take it up the ass like when nobody's looking, and you deny it at every point when nobody even brought it up. You're like, what do you mean in the ass? And they're like, I asked you what you wanted for dinner. Okay, well, just so it's clear, I did not get in the ass. Like that's the look that you're giving off. If this guy who already looks like he would fit makeup very well, makeup and a dress, I'm serious. Like he would look good with makeup and a dress. Not kidding. Maybe you should try it. You know?
I think Alec Gunter wants lyrics to be in his transgender sex cult.
Yeah, that's definitely the sort of React stream dunking content a progressive who's really concerned about optics should do, isn't it?
Some 16-year-olds look like adults. Okay, I need to explain something because I feel like not enough.
Oh no! I remember this take. Oh no, you guys. Oh no, you guys. Oh no, you guys. Everybody buckle up. This take is horrible. Everybody buckle in. Everybody buckle in.
People understand this. The problem with pedophilia is not finding somebody who is underage attractive. Okay? If you find somebody who happens to be underage, who's like 16 or 17, attractive, that's not a big deal. Which, you know, I admit to fighting for clout, by the way. I fully admit to that. Of course I fight for clout. I do debates. I tick some buttons, you know. I spark some outrage sometimes. You know, it happens. I do that.
It's almost as bad as that time Gunter.
Being attracted to children doesn't make you a pedophile. Insane take. Insane take. I'm telling you. I think that he was manic. I think that he was manic at this period in his life. Holy shit.
Who went on Jubilee's Middle Ground show to play the comic relief, then did a psychotic follow-up stream seething about the fact he's been outdebated by a bunch of inner-city high school kids and grandmothers.
All judging me. Look at them fucking staring me down, dude. Here's. They fucking hate me.
Okay, card posting got baited so hard here. He's saying fuckers. He's saying fuckers. That's the original video. He's not saying the N-word. He's saying fuckers, and somebody made this video.
Mothers.
All judging me. Look at them fucking staring me down, dude. Here's. They fucking hate me.
I have a savior complex as an older brother, and I will save you whether you like it or not. So that's just me.
You want to be a savior, and you're using me to make yourself feel good. That's what
How
I'm
am I
hearing.
hurting you?
You're not letting me have my own voice. You're not letting me speak.
How? You're speaking now?
No,
You're cutting her off.
Yeah.
Imagine getting invited to go on Jubilee. Like, one of the biggest, like, you know, podcast shows or whatever the fuck. You get invited, and you're looking in your closet, and you're like, I know. I'm going to wear a graphic t-shirt, a Hawaiian shirt, and a trucker cap. That's really going to convey professionalism, and it's really going to convey that I am worth listening to, even though I look like I literally walked out of a Family Guy skit. Like, imagine getting invited to go on Jubilee, and this is what you decide to wear. No, Riz.
Well, I feel like I have to.
This isn't about love. This is just about making the world a fucking better place. This isn't about me personally loving this bitch or this okay?
This, by the way, is the same now-deleted stream of Gunter's, where he tells his audience that when he's losing an argument, he finds that the best thing to do is just to make shit up and lie.
I hate feeling uncomfortable. Obviously, you don't want to.
Alec is just constantly huffing galaxy gas. Yes. And the worst part is like, so the whole point of Jubilee Middle Ground is that you come together and you have hard conversations and then you meet in the middle. It's called Middle Ground. And the whole time, and he was like, fuck you, black people. I know more about being black. It's like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing? What are you doing? And even Destiny was like, no, this guy was hella fucking aggro, and it was really uncomfortable for everybody in the room.
See, when they give anecdotes, just fucking make shit up that's exactly the opposite. Lie back. Just lie back. So now what? Now you have nothing. I thought that I came off looking pretty damn good. I think I did a pretty damn good job. And I think that those little snide remarks that I make were perfect for this format. If you're going...
It literally wasn't. Even Destiny was like, it was terrible.
If you're going to like get a point across in a format like this, what I've learned from this experience is those little quips are perfect.
And it should be noted that when I called Gunter's stream psychotic just then, that wasn't really a glib remark about mental health for the sake of rhetorical emphasis either. Gunter himself would like you to think his streams are psychotic too. He must reckon it takes wiggle room to make up insane accusations about trans grooming cults and the like. After he did his big video on me, the one where he accused me of wanting to groom people into a trans sex cult, he stopped streaming for a little while. And then, in his first stream back, I reckon that in order to get ahead of any criticism that might come back his way because of all the crazy accusations he'd been making, he claims that actually, he was in a bipolar manic state the last few months or more, and I think he basically just tries to...
Alec Gunter, Boblax confirmed. He's just a BPD girly.
just to lay the groundwork for a mental health pity defense. Take a look.
I've had really bad executive dysfunction like these past couple months, honestly.
What does that say? Does that say make women wet again? What does that hat say? Make what
Shortly
wet
before I took
again?
the break, I was already feeling it. I was like super burned out.
Make what? What does that hat say? Tell me what this hat says. What does
There's
that
also
say?
some stuff going on like with the drama community that I really don't want to get into because I don't want to get clipped or whatever. But like there was
It's make something wet again. What is the word? Sorry.
And I think he basically just tries his best to lay the groundwork for a mental health pity defense. Take a look.
I've had
It says make something wet again.
really bad executive dysfunction like these past couple months, honestly. Shortly before I took the break,
It says make. Does that say make Woody wet again? Make Woody wet again. Trump hat. Make WOODY wet again. That's what it looks like. It looks like make Woody wet again. That's what. Optics. Optics.
shortly before I took the break, I was already feeling it. I was like super burned out. There's also some stuff going on like with the drama community that I really don't want to get into because I don't want to get clipped or whatever. But like there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes on top of like just burnout and feeling like I'm not good enough for this job. You know, like it's not really a job, I guess.
It's just wood. It looks like there's one on the end. What is it? What is it? You guys, what does it say? What does it say?
Yet at least. I should say it's not my primary job. You know, on top of all that was like it was complicating the executive dysfunction that I already have as a result of ADHD. So my guess, not to self-diagnose, but my guess is that I'm bipolar. And I was
Okay, and he self-diagnosed. No! Ah! This is literally Alec Gunter walked so Bo Blacks could run, dude. My self-diagnosed bipolar manic episode actually caused me to accuse random people on the internet of being a pedophile. Please, you guys, somebody clip that. Somebody clip that. That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny.
I was in a manic phase for like a few months. At least a few months, if not longer.
I'll also point out that since he made his big wild accusation of me, Gunter has even gotten into arguments with random callers in from his audience who point out how absurd his claims of me are. And in those, he still defends making the claim and maintains it's true, while also distancing himself from the responsibility of making the claim by saying he's just putting his thoughts out there, and then he just usually deflects from answering at all by saying he forgets. Take a look.
I don't know. Does he
So
have
then
a
why did you
shag
go
carpet?
accuse him of being a rapist, a cultist?
Okay, he was attacked. This is way too small. He was like making fun of card posting for living in his homemade shack. Okay, which feel how you want about shack living. Making your own shack goes hard as fuck. Okay. Anyway, look at this. There's a blanket, a pillow, a lamp, a bunch of shit on this table. You can't even see this table because there's so much fucking shit on it. There's shit all over the floor. He's making fun of this guy living in like his homemade shack, okay, which goes hard as fuck. Meanwhile, we literally have an Asmongold ass setup right now. Like, okay, what the fuck?
I didn't accuse him of that. Somebody from an official
Yes,
org
you did. In your
no,
video,
somebody
you
from an
said
official
that he's
org
trying
did.
to start
And
his
I just
own
was
cult.
I was putting out. Yes, that's my thoughts. I did not make
You
an
put out
official.
your thoughts that somebody's starting a cult.
Are you actually
fucking
interested
crazy?
in what I have to say or not? Are you just here to bash me?
Yes.
I am interested in hearing how you answer these
Okay, then
questions
explain.
because I think.
Then let me explain.
Okay, what?
Sorry, let me explain.
Oh, go. You go ahead.
Okay. I already forgot what I was saying. What's the question?
So here's my problem. I'm just a progressive person who started doing YouTube videos as a fun little hobby. I don't have any aspirations of an online media career, nor would I ever needlessly attack another person on the platform or want to start beef. But within like a few months of me just being here, doing my own thing, making some videos, talking about stuff that interests me, along came this big bellowing ape who wants to become the next big streamer based off of a conversion story of becoming a liberal like a couple years ago, and he starts attacking me and calling my identity fake and harassing me and making wild, outlandish claims about me, which seems like a part of a pattern of behavior for him, and I don't like that. Frankly, I shouldn't have to tolerate it.
No,
When
you
I made my last
shouldn't. Live your
video
truth,
making all this
King.
and explaining in detail why Gunter's claims about me were demonstrably false, I said I wouldn't be interacting with him anymore, and I stand by that too. Because this isn't a video responding to
Big
him.
bellowing
Because
ape.
you can't debate something like these accusations he's made of me. You can debate whether or not, say, a reactionary meme is real, and whether or not people should be aware of it. You can debate with someone and banter about optics or different types of presentation. But you simply can't discuss something with someone just intent on lying about you. So, this is the part of the video where all that theoretical stuff I started with about asking people to divest from bad things and bad people comes back into it.
Bring
This
it
video
back
is made
around.
principally
Wrap it
for
up.
Other people who are themselves established figures in the sphere of online left-of-center streaming and debating and video making. I've shown you that Alec Gunter has lied a lot about me. He's done a lot of things that shouldn't be welcome in progressive spaces, and this is likely just the tip of the iceberg. Once again, I'll even suggest you possibly go and watch all of the videos we've both done about this that are linked at the top of this video's description. But if you're someone who interacts with Alec Gunter here online, or you're in the same spaces as him, you should pick a side here. And I think the
Pick a
correct
side,
choice
guys.
to make would be to say that he should not be welcomed into your online social circle or your sphere of collaborating and content making.
Say
And I'm
less.
asking very openly for the big network and groups he's associated with to formally cut ties with him, at least until he makes some significant changes and takes responsibility for what he's done. That would mean, first and foremost, Alec Gunter is the newest name in the Vouch-centric stable of creators that all share a website provider and a posting service, is he not? Gunter having any sort of notable subscribership is solely because of Vouch's platforming of him. And I feel like I've got a very legitimate grievance here of Vouch and his network that they've enabled someone to accuse me of running a sex cult to tens of thousands of people. Vouch, I know I called you a pedophile earlier, but that's just a statement of facts. I need you to rein in your large adult son here. But don't just say you're...
Your large adult son! I want to hang out with this guy. I want to get like a beer with this guy. I want to have a beer with this guy in his shed. That's what I want. I want to be right here, having a beer in the shack with card posting. That's what I want. I want to... Card posting, please confirm or deny. Do you have a transgender sex cult, and can I join it, please? Probably not the sex part, but the transgender cult, like, I could work with that. Not the sex, but I just asking, just out of curiosity.
Meaningfully separate him from your network. He's done a lot wrong. Don't just denounce him, Vosh. Divest from him. See, the title of this video could be read in two ways. It's clever. And that call for divestment from Gunter should also be aimed at all of the big real-world activism packs he's in, like a Progressive Victory. Alec Gunter works for them. He appears in videos for them. He does canvassing for them, all of which I think he sees as simply another way to embiggen his public media profile. My question to whoever's got their hands on the levers of power over at Progressive Victory is, can you not platform people like that? He's not good. Moving another rung down the ladder, I don't actually expect Vouch will acknowledge the actual harm his newest protege is doing. So
Oh, no,
I'll
of
ask
course not.
for other people associated with that network. If you're another creator on Vouch's site, on his network, using that same streaming infrastructure, you're currently lumped in with Alec Gunter. Would you be willing to say to your peers over there and to Vouch and to your network admins, hey, either remove Alec Gunter from the group or you'll walk? I personally don't know the super deep political streamer lore, so I'm not 100% sure who's exactly partnered up with who over there, but someone who I believe is the political streamer Demon Mama. So I just wanted to briefly address her here specifically.
Oh my god, is there anybody
But
that's going to be
you're
left
saying
alive?
you, right? And I believe you, very correctly and honestly, acknowledged not too long ago that what Keffels did was very bad. And more recently, you've also correctly articulated why the streamer Xanderhall is not someone who should be uncritically trusted in progressive circles. Well,
Based.
can I respectfully ask you, Demon Mama, to take the moral stance here on Alec Gunter? Because, as I hope I've
No,
pointed out in this
she
video,
won't. She
He's someone
won't.
willing to attack real lefties for clout and clicks. He seriously calls people pedophiles and cult leaders, and I think is nowhere near the actual ally to trans people he likes to present himself
I don't think that Demon Mama likes Alec Gunter anyway, so...
as. And now I've been dragged into having a problem with him, and by extension your network, because he tried to do all that to me. Another person of note I'd like to mention by name, or by their handle, is another streamer, not in the Vouch network, but arguably adjacent to it and the drama it creates, who has interacted directly with Alec Gunter before. President Sunday, you seem like a smart person. I know you did a well-intentioned collaborative discussion with Gunter.
Oh my god! Can President Sunday and Card Posting do a podcast together? That would change my life. That would change my life, bro! Please, 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 Card Posting President Sunday crossover now!
After his really bad Jubilee appearance too. And you're a streamer around this same 5-digit figure of subscribers level who also correctly denounces a lot of the bad things that have been being done by lefty content
Please,
creators recently.
please, God.
Would you please also consider everything I'm putting in front of everyone today and call this what it is? Really bad?
Yeah, true.
And if you're someone who's subscribed to Gunter after he got raised up by Vouch, could you consider reflecting earnestly and critically on whether or not Alec is someone you want to continue to follow and support? Because you're not doing yourself, or the online left, any favors by tacitly supporting someone like that.
Did they ever talk? He offered. Did they ever talk? Please say yes. Oh, I love Card Posting. Yes.
Apart from all that, if you're just some random viewer of mine, would you consider recommending this video to any of the internet drama news pages you might also watch? Asking for views is gauche, but frankly, I want this criticism to be seen by as many people as possible, even if it means hoping that it lands into the lap of the content mill drama channels. It's a bit unfortunate to want that to happen.
And it certainly did. Do you want to know why, Card Posting? Because Chud Logic fucking loves you because you're a king. You're a king, Card Posting. You're so funny.
But hey, I'm telling
You're wasting your talents making dog whistle videos. You should be a professional commentator, dude. Fuck.
and I don't fear inquiry. And Alec Gunter has been able to get away with smearing me and doing a lot of other stuff, it looks like, by virtue of the fact he isn't under the scrutiny of much of an audience beyond his own diehard fans he scooped off of Vouch, and the Discord people he dictates to what they are and aren't allowed to discuss and think about. As someone who's been in far-left anarchist organising circles for about 10 years now, I think corrective measures should come from someone's community. And I'm asking that the people in this online YouTube video space take note of what Alec Gunter has done, what he is still doing, and they apply
anything that you ask for card posting. I am a full-blown member of your transgender sex cult. Like anything for you. My God.